The Crescent is one of the most well-known music venues in York, but recent reports of next door being turned into flats have questioned the long term of the community centre with fears over noise complications. Acting as a mainstay of music in the city, its closure would have a profound effect, but the owners were keen to address any fears people may have, and both Harker and Ed from the Crescent gave their initial thoughts on the effects of having these new neighbours.
This is a concern really for music venues across the whole country. We've seen time and time again kind of flats being built by music venues and then people moving in and complaining about noise, and that kind of leading to venues not being able to operate in the same way they used to, and in a lot of cases have been shutting down. You know, in the past we've had, you know, luxury flats being converted from offices behind our building, and that's led to sound complaints.
Realistically, we were looking to just kind of open some kind of dialogue with them and just kind of let them know that ultimately, you know, we've got no objections to having businesses as neighbours, but the moment it turns to residential, it changes the whole kind of nature of what our relationship is with our neighbours, and we have to kind of be really aware, because it's a risk. It's like a real risk to us as a business that we kind of get forced to change our programming and maybe cut down on nights that are popular and successful in order to kind of pacify our new neighbours who, you know, previously we never had an issue with because they didn't exist. So, yeah.
Harker then explained why community music venues are so important for the city.
So I guess the important thing about places like ourselves or the Fulford Arms or Victoria Vaults is that it's really run by people who really care about the music scene, the culture scene in York, and are really passionate about it as a place, you know. And so I guess the advantage there is that it's, you know, run by people who are very kind of passionate about that. You know, the other day there was a news article that came out that saying that York's one of the most culturally vibrant places, I think, in Europe for its size. And what's really important is that if we're not careful, all these developments that are happening, you know, in terms of Fibbers, the Falcon Tap, places that have a shadow over them, if we lose that, we're going to lose a part of that culture and a part of what makes York a really good place to live in.
Ed, who is the owner, is part of the Music Venues Trust that works to protect places like the Crescent.
I think Music Venues Trust are doing something incredible. The preservation of small music venues is key to bands developing. You can't have a homegrown band if there's nowhere for them to play at home. You know, then they can't have your favourite local band can't go on and become bigger and better without leaving the city, which is, you know, it'd be a real shame. Imagine you're in a band and you felt like you were going to make it. York can't hold you anymore. You have to leave. You have to go to Leeds or Manchester, and then all that talent is just draining away. So Music Venues Trust try and preserve the venues and therefore keep the talent and stimulate the growth of it. And the fact that it's a collective body, so everyone, no matter how big you are as a venue, can go there and get their expertise and get the support that you need and any information. It's just incredible, and it's, you know, they do it for the love of the industry, so it's incredible.
Having contacted the council for a comment, Mike Slater, Assistant Director for Planning, said, "The environment around an application site is always considered as part of each application's assessment, and that would include any performance venues and residential developments. So, while the council seem to be on top of the issue, the Crescent are confident there will be no serious long-term effects to their venue, which is certainly good news for music lovers in the city." Rory Ward, That's TV.